Marilyn Monroe, the Mexican-American War, and NATO are all on this day. Welcome back to On This Day. Today's date is March 29th, 2022. It is the 88th day of the year. We got 277 days left. It is the 13th Tuesday in the 14th week and the 10th day of spring. Today is National Mom and Pop Business Owners Day. National Mom and Pop Business Owners Day is a great day to celebrate people that started or took over a family company. I try and buy from mom and pop places whenever I can, especially downtown Portland, Oregon. I like to eat at the mom and pop places and stuff like that. I just figured it helps the economy better than giving it to a giant corporation. Don't get me wrong, I order the hell out of Amazon, but usually when I'm eating or going, let's say, out with friends to a bar or something, try and keep it to the mom and pop type places. All right, let's see what else March 29th has given us. 1847, the Mexican-American War. The United States forces, led by General Winfield Scott, take Veracruz after a siege. 1867, Queen Victoria gives royal assent to the British North American Act, which establishes Canada on July 1st of that year. 1882, the Knights of Columbus is established. One of the funnest nights of my life happened at a Knights of Columbus in Hermosa Beach, California. I had a fake ID, so did most of my friends. We all went in there and they let us drink till we had drinking entirely too much and were asked to leave. But it was a fun night. I think I was 19. 1886, John Pemberton brews the first batch of Coca-Cola in a backyard in Atlanta, Georgia. 1911, the M1911 .45 caliber pistol becomes the official U.S. Army sidearm. So that was 1911. And it's still in use in a lot of places now. When I was actually in the light infantry at Fort Ord, California in the mid-80s, we were just switching over to the Beretta, which is the M9 Beretta. I really liked the M1911. I thought it was a better weapon. I really did. I know not a lot of people feel that same way. I don't have small hands, but for some reason the Beretta didn't feel as good and as comfortable as the M1911. I suck with the sidearm anyway. I mean, I could hit anything with a rifle. You give me a pistol and stand behind me, be careful, you might get shot. I'm horrible with a pistol. 1957, the New York, Ontario, and Western Railway makes the final run, the first major U.S. railroad to be abandoned in its entirety. 1961, the 23rd Amendment of the United States Constitution is ratified, allowing residents of Washington, D.C. to vote in the presidential election. I've always thought that was strange, and I still think it's strange to this day that they really don't have representation in our government. And I know there's a lot of arguments on why they don't and everything, but I still think they should have a senator, a congressman, things like that. They don't. Then the fact that prior to 1961, they couldn't even vote in the presidential election is just kind of strange. Prior to 1961, Washington, D.C. had no Electoral College votes. I mean, nothing. Now, of the 538 Electoral College votes available, they're responsible for 3 of them, which is the same number that Delaware, North Dakota, South Dakota, Vermont, Wyoming, Alaska, and Montana. So Washington, D.C. gets as many Electoral College votes as some of our least populated states. And that's actually part of the 23rd Amendment. In the words to the amendment, it actually says that they should never have any more electoral votes than the least most populated state. So even if Washington, D.C. had a higher population than, I don't know, Louisiana or something like that, they could never have more than the 3 electoral votes that they have currently. And I believe if a state lost so many people, like say Alaska, they're kind of losing population, if they drop down to only getting 2 electoral votes, Washington, D.C., going by these words, would have to drop down to 2 electoral votes as well. Kind of a strange little twist to our Constitution. 1974, NASA Mariner 10 becomes the first space probe to fly by Mercury. Mercury's way out there too. 2004, Bulgaria, Estonia, Latvia, Lithuania, Romania, Slovakia, and Slovenia join NATO as full members. This has irritated Russia to no end, and that's part of the reason that they're attacking Ukraine right now. Ukraine's been flirting with the idea of joining NATO for years. And that's part of the reason. There's a whole bunch that goes into that we're not going to get into, but that is part of the problem. 2014, the first same-sex marriages in England and Wales are performed. Movies released on March 29th, 1959, Some Like It Hot. This was a classic Marilyn Monroe movie. It had Marilyn Monroe, obviously, Tony Curtis, Jack Lemmon, Joe E. Brown, George Raft, Pat O'Brien, so many people in there. But this is a classic comedy about two male musicians who disguise themselves as women to hide from mafia members after witnessing a murder. It was voted as the #1 comedy of all time by AFI's 2000 poll, 100 Years, 100 Laughs. The film earned 6 Academy Award nominations, winning the Best Costume Design black and white. I don't know what the black and white means. I guess that was a category back then. So I've watched Some Like It Hot. Do I think it's the greatest comedy of all time? Absolutely not. Is it in the top 25? Yeah, I'd say so. But it beat things like Dr. Strangelove, Duck Soup, which is the Marx Brothers, Blazing Saddles, MASH, Airplane. It beat Airplane. Young Frankenstein it beat. A Fish Called Wanda didn't even make it into the top 20. It was 21. There's Something About Mary was 27. That is so much funnier than Some Like It Hot. Born on March 29th, 1942, Scott Wilson. You might not know who he is, but I'm sure you recognize him if you watch TV or movies. He played Herschel Green in AMC's The Walking Dead. In case you don't know who Herschel Green is, he was Maggie's dad in the very beginning when they met Maggie at the farmhouse and all that. He was in The Great Gatsby, Pearl Harbor, Junebug, and later on Netflix's OA. He hitchhiked from Atlanta to Los Angeles in 1961, where he enrolled in his first acting class. He played a supporting role in the 1967 film In the Heat of the Night. Great movie. Sadly, he died in 2018. Died on March 29th, 2012. We lost Luke Askew. He was a character actor known for tons of movies. Stranger on the Highway, Easy Rider, The Green Berets, Night of the Serpent. After studying at the University of Georgia and subsequently attending law school at Mercer University, he was cast in the 1967 film Hurry Sundown. He guest starred in the Rockford Files, LA Law, Bonanza, Simon and Simon, MacGyver, Frank and Jesse, The Newton Boys, which was a pretty good movie, Walker, Texas Ranger, Cold Case, Big Love. I loved him in Big Love. He was pretty good. Hollis Green he played, who Hollis Green was not a nice person. He died on March 29th, 2012 of lung cancer up here near Portland, Oregon in Lake Oswego. He was 80 years old. He was also in one of the worst movies I have ever seen. Honestly, there was like 3 of these movies and they were low budget like karate movies called No Retreat, No Surrender. He was in number 3, No Retreat, No Surrender 3, Blood Brothers. These movies were so lame. I actually walked out of the first one with my cousin who convinced me to go see it. Me and 2 other friends go see it with my cousin. He said, it's supposed to be great, da-da-da-da-da. It was honestly, I think the only movie I've ever walked out of. I paid for this movie. We went and saw it, and I walked out probably 20 minutes into the movie. Probably less than that. My friend Mike was gonna smack my cousin for making him waste the money on it. It was so bad. If anyone ever tells you you should watch No Retreat, No Surrender, they're not your friend, okay? Stay away from them. He was also in another television show that was another gem, just about as good as No Retreat, No Surrender. I think it lasted like 6 episodes. And I saw it. I kind of liked it. It was called Automan. My family knew someone that was involved with it, but I ended up watching it. And I kind of liked it. I don't know if it was because I was interested in it or we just knew someone that was in it. I forget. But yeah, never watched No Retreat, No Surrender. Any of them. All right, that's today's video. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Hope you got some information out of it. Now go out, have a productive day, and most importantly, be nice to each other.